Did you see it? Did you watch it? Did anybody watch Squid Games? Season 3 finale. 1 second. Huh? Did anybody watch it? Because I did. Yeah. I watched that piece of crap. Not shit. Crap. Look, man. I don't know what happened. Filmmaking is not easy. Even if you have millions, thousands of dollars to spend on a budget, it's not easy. I really do think there's been something going on in Hollywood right now in the past, I don't know, 5 years, to where it's been something going on with producers, writers, filmmakers, actors, where it's just been weird decision making when it comes to story elements going on in these TV shows and these movies. And I have no explanation of it. I really don't. To be honest with you, when Squid Game first came out, everybody loved it. Everybody was talking about it. It definitely created waves, especially at the right time, post-COVID. Everybody was waiting for the next big thing, something to entertain them. And Squid Game was that, you know what I'm saying? It was good. It was fresh. It was something new, something unique, something we never seen before here in America. And when it ended, it teased another season, and I always felt like, the way the story is, the way it's set up, the way it's constructed, it didn't really feel like it needed another season. Because how can you really continue this particular story? It always felt like one of those stories that just should be a one-off. I feel like all the themes and messages were said in the first season. So I always felt like season 2 was a bit of a cash grab. Season 3 was a bit of a cash grab. First of all, this should have been just one big miniseries. There was no reason for season 3. Honestly, if you saw the way season 2 ended, it literally was no reason at all for season 3. And the main reasons or why they shouldn't have came out with season 3 is because the show didn't go anywhere. There was no questions that had answers. Every question that you had zero answers. There was zero payoff. There was zero anything. Like, it ended in the dumbest way possible. Very lackluster, very underwhelming. And again, I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I don't know if some big executive was thinking, we need to stretch this out. We need to do this, do that for money, blah, blah, blah. It's always about money. That's usually why these stories end up failing. So it usually has to do with money. Because apparently the way this show ended, if everyone has seen, if not, if you didn't see, spoiler alert for all this. But if you saw the way it ended, you see that it's clearly going to be a spinoff in this. They're going to do an American version of Squid Games now, which is like, again, you're trying to beat that cow until you get as much cash from it as possible, which I hate. Hollywood does that, man. I hate these. But you know what? I guess that's a good segue to a similar theme going on both in story and reality. Greedy executives in the show making a show about greedy people. It makes a lot of sense. Look, man. Again, the show started off great, and I think these last 2 seasons. But I'm gonna talk about season 3. Season 3 has great moments. I think from the beginning, you had the hide and seek game. You had that, tragic story between her mother and her son, the mother having to kill the son because the son was just too much of a coward to kill anybody else. It's funny, the son in there, what was his name again? I'm gonna have to really read and look up the names. I'm terrible at remembering Japanese names, let alone saying them. Where we at here? I'm looking at the list of the cast. Google's so freaking stupid, man. I type in the cast of the show and they don't even give me the whole cast. It gives me what they want to give me. Bro, give me the cast, man. What's wrong with you? Wow, I have to go on this one page where I have to scroll all the way down to find the character I'm trying to talk about. Young Sik. The son, the guy, the goofy looking guy with the glasses. in that episode with him trying to make a decision on whether he should switch places with his mother because his mother had a red vest. He had a blue vest, so he had to make a decision whether or not, okay, bet I'm gonna switch places with my mom because she got weak knees. She ain't gonna be able to kill nobody efficiently enough, so I'm gonna do it. So, but throughout the whole game, he's completely cowardly. He doesn't have the stomach or the guts to kill somebody, but yet towards the end, he has the stomach and the guts to kill a mother and her baby. So like what? Like it just didn't make any sense. So the mother had no choice but to kill her son there. And then obviously she couldn't take the fact that she did that, so she ended up just killing herself. When they got back to the bunk rooms or whatever. Everything going on with the girl who was a soldier or not soldier, a henchman, guard, whatever you want to call it. Everything going on with her was confusing. It was uninteresting and it was boring. I did not care about her at all. I actually tuned out every time they showed her part of the show. The detective guy who's brothers with the host, the guy with the cool black diamond mask. I forget his name. Everything going on with him was very lackluster. It was a little boring. First of all, it was all for nothing. The whole thing about him needing to find Ginhu, him needing to get answers from his brother was completely done in the dumbest way. He finally gets there. He finally gets to the island at the end of the episode. He finally finds it. He finally sees his brother at the end of the episode. And of course, after everything what happened with Ginyu, I'm gonna get that to a second. Obviously the diamond mask guy, he gets the baby and he sees his brother at the top of the, where the VIPs was during the last game. And his brother just gets in there and yells, why? And you're guessing he's asking him why because they alluded to him wanting questions of why his brother let him live. And the diamond mask guy just looks at him, stares at him, and then just goes down the elevator, and that's it. And the whole place is getting rigged to blow because the jig is up. Everybody found where they were, so they had to blow up the whole place, and they end up escaping, and that's it. That was literally it. The whole time he was searching for the island. The whole time he was dealing with that one guy who owned the boat, and his friend or his fellow soldier was telling him, you gotta watch out for him, blah blah blah, and he ended up killing him, finding the island, finding his brother. It all mounted up to nothing happened out of that, nothing but a why a look, and that's it. So that was just stupid. Then what else happened? Yeah, so let's move on to Ginyu, or Ginghong, whatever, the main character. It opens up this season, him, obviously losing his mind from losing his friend getting shot up right in front of him. And now he's like in a catatonic state. He's in complete shock and he's angry. He's mad. He's looking for somebody to blame. So one of the characters were, I think it was the goofy guy with the glasses with the mom and stuff. He was like, oh, well, if anybody should blame, you should blame him. He came back from the magazines, but stayed. He's a coward. So from then on, Ginyu was just on his ass, but pretty much in the next game, the hide and seek game, where you got some players need to find and seek out the players so they can kill them, and the other players they gotta hide in order for them to win the game. Ginyu is one of the characters that need to seek, so he got on the red vest, and he is solely focused on killing the fake Marine kid, the cowardly kid from season 2, who didn't come back to give everybody the mags. He ends up finding him and kills him. And my thing is like, Ginyu was never known to be a malicious killer. Like, yeah, he was mad. Yeah, he wanted revenge. But whenever he comes across a character like this, who's like pleading for his life and like clearly knows he made a mistake, we never seen Ginyu on some like, nah, like you gotta go. Like he ends up actually choking the guy out. And that was just like, that's not his character. But then later on in this season, you see that he has mercy on people. It just doesn't make sense. So that was a complete butcher of his character. So yeah, he kills him. Like I said in the beginning, the mother ends up killing herself after killing her son. Now let's move on to the girl who had the baby and her boyfriend or her baby daddy, who I ain't gonna lie, she was kind of pissing me off because every time he was trying to uh, show that he cared about her, every time he tried to show that he loved her, loved the baby, wanted to keep them safe and all, she kept blowing him off, kept blowing him off, kept blowing him off. And it's like, it gets to a point where it's like, okay, I get it that he killed your friend, killed the tranny that was trying to protect her and the mother. I ain't gonna lie, the tranny, she was doing her thing. She was kicking ass, protecting old girl with her baby and then the old lady. She was doing her thing, and then right when she finally finds the exit in the hide and seek game, she gets ready to leave, and then she turns back to try to save him. And when she tries to save him, instead of in the doorway telling them, "Come on, I found the exit," instead of having her head on the swivel, she ends up getting stabbed by old girl boyfriend. So from there, he kind of like keeps his distance from her after she clearly had their baby. And it's like, bro, I get that you feel like she's mad at you, but she didn't really give you a clear sign that she was. Like you didn't once check on her for real quick or look at your baby at one point. Like you didn't care. That was just kind of very odd to me. So then they end up, you got to excuse me, I got a bit of a cold. So yeah, after that, she ends up having a baby or whatever, and from then on, like I said, dude just doesn't talk to her, and yeah, she's struggling because during that hide and seek game, she broke a damn ankle. Her ankle's completely shattered. She can't even walk. And lo and behold, the next game has something to do with jumping. They have the big giant little kid statues with the robotic jump rope going back and forth, and they all got to jump over it to go across this very skinny, very narrow platform. So pretty much once you jump, you got to really have some muscle memory or really have the balance and the jumping ability to jump up and go right back down. Otherwise, you're gonna slip and fall and break your neck going hundreds of feet down. Um, so yeah, she was gonna die. There was no doubt about it. So she asks Ginyu to protect her baby. So Ginyu, he's the first one to go across with the baby, saves the baby. He's trying to tell her like, "I'll come back for you. Just stay right there." So then the baby daddy, he's like, "Look, just come with me. I'll help you." She's like, "What are you gonna do? Carry me across? I don't want you near me. I want you to stay away from me." And it's like, girl, shut up. Like, just go with your baby daddy, okay? Just do it. Just listen to him. Do what he says, and y'all be all right. He probably could have carried you. You probably look like you weigh about. I give her at best 140. He probably could have carried her through. It would have been very tiring. I mean, at the end, they still jump a rope and they jumping on a very narrow platform, but nevertheless, he probably could have helped her out. But whatever. So that happens. Uh, and so she blows him off. He ends up the baby daddy ends just going on the platform on his own and ends up making it out. And the girl, she doesn't attempt to even try. Again, she got one leg, so she just jumps to her death. So Ginyu, he got this baby, and then somehow the VIPs all of a sudden could dictate the rules of the game. So they say, "Oh, it'll be the VIPs." Were kind of annoying me in this because it went nowhere with these characters. We never got any sort of backstory upon them. It was no payoff. Nobody, they didn't die. They didn't go to prison. Nothing happened with them. But instead of them having that snarly, bougie, just ho ho ho, we're evil and we love to see people suffer, ways to them. And they like all of a sudden we should have the baby be one of the players, have the baby be one of the players, and Loki have a threat to die. Like it's just sick, just overly sick for the sake of like entertainment, but it just felt too much. Like that was just too much, just stupid. So anyway, so now the babies end up being a player. Now the rest of the survivors of the last game, they're all like, "Oh, well, we shouldn't share our share with a baby. Let's just kill the baby." Look, I get that this show is trying to demonstrate how greedy people get and how like insane they get over dealing with the debts that they have back home. And I know some of them probably dealing with, you know, probably got loan sharks getting ready to kill him if they don't come up with certain money. But come on, bro, like killing a baby, bro. Like y'all really that desperate that y'all want to kill a newborn baby? Like, come on, bro. Like, get out of here with that. Like, it just I don't believe it. So yeah, so it comes down to a point where everybody's trying to decide, like everybody's talking and politicking. Pretty much at this point, all the main characters are dead. You have none of like I said, the old lady killed herself. She killed her son. The trainee died from the baby daddy stabbing him. Oh yeah, the junkie guy that was friends with Thanos in the second season, he died because that one kid that he was like bullying throughout the show ended up getting his hands on his drugs and was taking it himself for whatever reason. And he ends up taking those drugs and throwing it in the platform in the jump rope game. Dude stupidly tries to go get it, gets hit with the rope and dies. So now the cowardly kid is now taking these drugs, or did take the drugs. He ate them all, and now he's going through withdrawals, which made no sense. Like, that character was completely pointless. Like, I'm thinking, okay, he starts off as a coward. He let old boy kill old girl that he liked right in front of him. He didn't do nothing because he was too scared. I'm thinking, like, okay, eventually he's gonna get brave, or eventually he's gonna kill the guy who killed the girl he liked. No, none of that. He just ends up staying a coward, and then by the time they get to the next game, he ends up dying, which I'm gonna get to in a second. So they all trying to decide, okay, how they should go about this. So then Ginyu, he finally has a chance to see the diamond mask guy, which I thought he revealed himself to him in the last season. I thought he knew that the diamond face guy was the guy in the game with him. Thought he was his friend, but whatever. So the diamond face guy, he reveals himself and he tells them, "Oh, you should kill the other contestants because they're eventually gonna try to kill you and the baby. You here, take this knife and kill them while they're sleeping." And they show a flashback to it. Vaguely shows that I guess he was a player in the game too, and the old guy from the very first season, who's the creator of all this, had pretty much told him the same thing. Here, take a knife and kill the other contestants, survive and whatever. So, Beginyu, he attempts to try to do that. Why didn't he kill? Why didn't he kill his whole bro? His whole thing throughout the whole show, the only reason Ginyu came back was to try to stop the games. Listen to me now. Hear this. He is in the room with the guy in charge of this whole thing, the black diamond face guy. He's in charge of the whole thing. He brings him to his quarters to give him a knife to kill the rest of the contestants. Ginyu has the knife. Why right there you don't finish the job? Do what you tried to do in the second season, which tried to start a rebellion, try to kill all the ones that was in charge. How about you finish the job right there? Kill Buddy. None of the guards were in the room. You had the chance right there, but then he just takes the knife, goes back, and tries to attempt to do what dude said? That didn't make any sense. So then he tries to attempt to kill the people, the rest of the guys, the old man that kept egging everybody on to keep playing, the jackass. He's getting ready to kill him, but he decides to change his mind. Ginyu changes his mind and lets them live. Which is funny because the old guy ends up waking up and he feels like a little prick, like a little blood, and he just shrugs it off like whatever. I guess it was a mosquito bite or something. That was kind of funny. But anywho, so they all wake up and they go to the next game, and the next game is like, the last game, Squid Game, but it's on these giant platforms. A old platform, a triangle platform, and square platforms, and they start off on square. And apparently, they have to push one or more contestants off of this platform in order to win. So you have to kick off one person or more, then move on. So they got some politicking around because they trying to decide who they want to push off and whatever, which was kind of stupid. I get one of the characters like, let's not all panic. Let's all decide which one to push off. But who's going to really sit there and decide, who should die, who should get voted off? Like, no one's going to, realistically, no one's going to do that. Everybody's going to try to push off whoever and try to, get up there and be the last one to go. But whatever. It's create more drama in the show. They add everyone politic about it. So at this point, you have Ginyu and the baby daddy. the cowardly kid who's all of a sudden a drug addict now. Um, and then you have a couple of three characters we never known about, never cared about. They were just always within the crowd going like, yeah, we should vote Circle, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Those type of guys. And then you got the old guy that, was the leader of the, get them to the circle gang parade or whatever you could call them. So yeah. So then they all vote to just take out the cowardly kid, and he has his last arc, uh, hallucinating, overseeing Thanos hanging over the damn platform, and then the other guy who's Thanos' friend, and then he hallucinates overseeing the girl that he liked that he let die, and he hallucinates grabbing her hand where he grabbed the pole that the baby daddy pushes him with and kills him. So that was the end of his story. Pointless. He didn't need to be in the show. He didn't need to be a written character. It's just pointless. So anyway, they move on to the next one. So this one, it was pretty entertaining. I like when they got to the triangle because everybody was trying to politic, trying to finesse their way and to find out who could be pushed off or whatever. But eventually, it pretty much comes down to this. They end up jumping one of the guys, the old guy and the game beret. I like to call him the game beret. I don't know, because they were all just yes men, just a bunch of, just one guy would say something, the other one would be like, yeah, we should do that, yeah. So I just call him the game beret. So the game beret, they end up choosing one of them to jump all of a sudden because they had the bright idea to. This is what was confusing to me. So like I said, they got to kick off one person or more to move on to the next platform. So they called it a lunchbox. So basically meaning like they gonna beat up a guy, beat him until he can't walk. They literally break his leg, and they say we're gonna just carry him to the other side to have him, I guess, be an easy target to throw over. I don't know. That part was confusing me. I could barely even explain it because it wasn't explained well. It was just stupid. So they end up jumping one of these guys, breaking his leg. After I did skip a part. After they tried to get Ginyu one more time to give up the baby, they really like trying to hold on the idea of killing this baby. But no one has the bright idea of saying, let's just kill each other. Like no one first thinks, okay, I'm gonna push this dude off. No, I'm instantly want to just go after the baby. And just like, for what? Like, why is everybody all of a sudden just a malicious killer? Like, I get everybody is set up to be greedy in this show, but like, come on, bro. Like a baby. So anyways, so yeah, Ginyu, he refuses, and then eventually the baby daddy finally acknowledges his daughter. He finally tells everybody that this is like throughout the from the time that girl was in labor, baby came out of her, all the way up to now. The guy act like he didn't have a kid. Like he'll stare at her from afar or whatever, and they have that sad, like conflicted look of, should I go over there and at least acknowledge my child? Like, no, he doesn't. Like, he finally does it at the last minute, holding the pole. Yes, the child is mine. And then, like, the other guys, the whole game beret, kind of like, what are you talking about? Why are you just now saying something? And they looking at Ginyu like, you believe this? And then Ginyu has the flashback of him seeing the baby daddy talk to the baby mama. And he's like, okay, I guess he is telling the truth. So they end up pretty much killing the rest of the game beret. Ginyu and the baby daddy ends up killing the rest of the game beret, throws them off the platform, whatever, and they end up moving on to the circle, the final platform. So then the guy, he says, so again, I'm gonna repeat the rules because it was very confusing to me. They have to kick off one person or more in order to win. So now it's Ginyu, the baby, and the baby's daddy. And also keep in mind, for the game to start, like for them to start pushing each other in order to win the game, they have to press this button on the platform, right? That's how the game starts. Before they press the button, hear me now. Before they press the button, the baby daddy is telling Ginyu to stay on the triangle, right? I'll take the baby. And his plan is to kill his own child. Nowhere in this show has he ever had that type of mindset. He did seem like a prick. He did seem like a guy who, was a little selfish when it came to money, and hence why he's there going and, had debts, stupid debts or whatever. Clearly he was trying to work things out with his baby mama, but for some reason, I guess she felt he was selfish because he never called her or some stupid crap. And yeah, that's it. There was no sense of like he's so greedy to the point where, I mean, they did kind of try to foreshadow that in the hide and seek game, because the drug addict that was best friends with Thanos, he was all like, because once they killed people together, because all you gotta do in that game was kill one person, then you pass. They kill somebody together, they pass. But then the guy's like, "Hey, we should kill more people and eliminate the chances of splitting the money." And the guy's like, I guess right. And that's how he ended up killing the tranny. But that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, he always had the mindset of getting rid of his debt and also protecting his baby mama and the child. All of a sudden, in this last minute of this episode, it's a complete character switch. All of a sudden, he's willing to kill his own daughter, not Ginyu, the daughter. So again, why is it's like the writers were forcing a conflict to go against this baby. Like, let's just have all the characters want to kill the baby, and Ginyu be the only one to want to protect it. Even the baby daddy, like, just doesn't make sense. So yeah, the baby daddy wants to kill his own daughter all of a sudden. So Ginyu obviously stops him, kills him, whatever. And yeah, now it's Ginyu and this baby, and one of them got died because both of the guys goofed up, didn't press the button before they decided to kill each other. So now Ginyu presses the button. He has no choice. Now he has to decide between him and the baby. So keep in mind, it's still about 30 minutes left of the show, of the episode, I mean. And Ginyu presses the button. They do a very long take of just us just staring at Ginyu, because we now, they're showing us that he's about to die. And yeah, he ends up killing himself. He ends up saying some heartfelt little phrase or little thing where he's like, "We're not horses, we're humans, and humans are." And then he doesn't finish what he says, and he jumps off, kills himself. That's the end of Ginyu. That's the end of the main character of this whole series. So yeah, and so yeah, the baby ends up living, like I said in the beginning. The glass faced guy, he gets the baby. Brother shows up again. That mounts up to nothing. And yeah, he ends up finding somehow, some way, where Ginyu stashed his money from the last game he won. He ends up getting that money. He ends up taking it to Ginyu's daughter, and leaves. He just mysteriously tells her, "Your father left us. Your father's dead." And she's just all like in shock, because at first she like disowned her dad because dad never checked on her. Obviously because the stupid son of a bitch went back to play the games. So yeah, she disowned him for that. And dude drives off. She's completely shocked from receiving this card, or having probably still somewhat billion something dollars. And so lucky for her, right? And then also the detective, his brother, the diamond face guy, ends up dropping his baby, or dropping the baby off to him. I guess the guy's gonna take care of the baby. But anywho, so yeah, and he also ends up giving the money to him. Obviously, I mean, who else is gonna have the money? Not the baby. The baby can't be the runner, right? So drops the baby off, drops the money off to his brother, and the brother ends up being a $45 billion billionaire. So lucky for him, right? I guess that was his brother's answer. Why? Because I wanted you to be rich. Here you go. But yeah, so he ends up having that happy ending, I guess. And yeah, and then they try to have some resolution with the guy who was helping the detective that I didn't care about at all. He ends up trying to open up a hotel, I guess. Why do I need to know that? Why do I need to see that? I don't know. And then the girl, like I said, who's the security guard, she ends up seeing the guy she was trying to protect the whole time. But again, a very useless character, I felt. She didn't need to be in the show. I don't know why she was written in there. I guess they needed to make room for one more female character. I just felt like her whole character, whole arc, that was just pointless. I thought eventually she was probably going to maybe help Ginyu get everybody out of there. Like, I thought that was like maybe the purpose of the character. No, she had her own separate story arc that had nothing to do with any of the main characters of the show. But anyways, so yeah, and then what else? Oh yeah, and then Kate Blanchett has a cameo all of a sudden because the Diamond Face guy, he's in Los Angeles after he got done dropping off the money to Ginyu's daughter. He's driving on the road and he rolls down the window to see Kate Blanchett doing the same recruitment game as the original guy does to some white redneck all of a sudden. And yeah, and I guess they're teasing an American version of Squid Games, squeezing out that cash cow as much as possible, which is pointless because this show is not even as popular as it once was back in 2021. So it's just stupid. And you ended bad, and then you're gonna try to sell us on an American version. And what's the American version gonna be about? How much different is the show gonna be? What nuance, new insightful things are you gonna do or say in the show? Because like I said, the main message of the show, the main themes of the show were all explored in the first season. Now, there were still questions like, you know, who exactly are these VIPs? Where do they be coming from? How did the game start? How did the old guy start the game? And how was he recruiting people or whatever? Like, just questions that needed answers, but we never got. How is it going to be answered in any shape or form in an American version? How? You're not dealing with the same characters. It's just dumb. Like, again, we're getting to a point in Hollywood where Hollywood is trying to push out agendas. Hollywood is trying to make money in the dumbest ways, in the most cheapest ways, to appease feminists, to appease homosexuals, and to appease just the dumbest, docile, I'm just here to just watch people blow up type movie fan or TV show fan. Like, you know, it's just dumb writing. I don't know what happened to this show. I was really rooting for this show to end good because I was very questionable how they ended the second season. But yeah, man, I mean, again, I wish questions were answered better throughout the show. I wish there were more payoffs. It wasn't. I wish they would have treated Ginyu's character better, ended his character off better. He didn't have to end right at the end of the show, but for them to kill him off like that, and at that time when it was still 30 minutes left of the episode, and like I just said, all that stuff that happened in the rest of the 30 minutes didn't sound interesting, did it? Like, it was just stupid. Yeah, this was very disappointing, man. There definitely a letdown to a show that was great, unique. Like I said, it wasn't all bad. It was still very entertaining enough for me to finish it. But, you know, I don't know what happened, man. I don't know what happened, bro. Nevertheless, got some more content for you coming up. Music videos, shorts, films, skits. You know what's coming. As always, if you don't got the answer to it, and you don't got the question for it, I can't even say my slogan now. I'm really just completely flabbergasted on how that show just ended, man. I can't even think straight. Like, wow, I can't believe that just happened. Very disappointed, man. I don't even know what to say. I don't even want to. I'm very disappointed in Hollywood altogether, man. Even looking at the Superman shit, man. I haven't done any reactions to it, but I don't know. Hollywood just seems stupid now. I'm lost for words, head ass.